Oilers suck again. After teasing us with 3 wins in a row, they suck. Do. Hit it, Tyler.
All right, welcome in. It is a Monday, November 20th. It is 8:05 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. It has been pitch black in the city of Edmonton for 4 hours and pitch black in our souls since the start of the season. Welcome into Oilersnation Radio. We're doing a special nighttime edition because none of us have time to record on our usual time of Tuesday afternoon. So we're doing things a little bit differently. We're all at home. There's a lot to get to. We're all properly miserable after watching that game. So I think, boys, the right way to start is to crack a little Beveragino to get through this. Am I right?
Well, let's get to it. All right.
Oh, I had a bottle. It didn't make the same noise. Anyways, cheers to a tough hockey game. We're going to get to all of our usual stuff today on the podcast. We're going to have a delicious debate. We're going to do our Who Delivered for DoorDash. But first, we're going to go in a reverse order from what we usually do. We're going to start with a game recap since the Oilers just played a hockey game. It's brought to you by Alberta Blue Cross. There's only one thing better than sharing memories, and it is making new ones. You can head to ab.bluecross.ca/travel for more information to find out more on how their travel insurance can protect you and your memories wherever your travel takes you. All right, a little bit of a frustrating one. BM, I'll start with you. What was the defining moment of that loss to the Florida Panthers?
Giving up another 2-goal lead. Right? Within the first 10 minutes of that hockey game, the Oilers got a goal, a fucking snipe from Connor from Leon's office for some reason, a nice little role reversal there. And then, they got another one from Evander Kane at about the 9-minute mark. And you kind of go, all right, the boys are rolling. The boys have got the start they wanted. They've got 2 goals up on the Panthers. Let's build on it. And then 96 seconds later, Christopher Hagee gets a power play goal, a bad luck goal. Is that the one that hit Hyman on the way out? I feel like it is. Second. That was the second one?
Yeah.
Well, either way, it doesn't matter. Like Verhage scored 93 seconds after Kane scored, 96 seconds, I should say. And it just kind of felt like that was, I felt tense. I felt nervous. I didn't feel like, all right, they got a goal. No big deal. We'll just go get the next one. It was just kind of like, uh-oh, here we go again. So I got to say, coughing up the 2-goal lead in the first period.
Dan, you got a hockey fight to clip in that one. So I have a funny feeling that's maybe your defining moment. But what stood out the most for you in that loss?
Well, I mean, the hockey fight comes at, at a not a great time, I guess. Like, I don't know. It's one of those things where it felt like it was a burn that just kept growing with the after the whistle kind of festivities. But yeah, I don't know if it was necessarily the best moment for the Oilers. It definitely felt like it was a pivotal moment for the game. I don't know. It's now we've gone 3 games where we've seen the same script. Yes, the Oilers were able to flip it in the first iteration of it, but man, oh man, is it frustrating. You get up and you just can't seem to get that pesky third goal. The third goal just seems to be the key for this team.
Rick, what defined that hockey game for you?
It's just a mirror image of this whole season. Everything was wrong. You had the lead, you couldn't keep the lead. Then, you're maybe 1 or 2 you wish the goaltender could have had. But before that, you look at the defenseman, you're like, okay, well, maybe that's not exactly the right play. But then you move up the ice and you look in the forward zone and you're like, well, that should have gone in. That should have gone in. You look at the PK, they weren't able to do what we need them to. And you look at the power play and neither were they. So it's everything. It's every aspect of this game right now. And I still believe that it's somehow not, it's in their heads or something. And I don't know how you fix this.
New heads.
That's fair.
Heads should probably roll. Liam, what did you think?
I thought a lot throughout the game. I don't know what much more to add about it, right? Like, the Oilers, there's no doubt there was a couple of bounces that were a bit unlucky in their own zone. Like, how many times is Ekholm going to fire one off Hyman's ass and ends up going to that guy, right? And then one goes in off Pickard, I think it was, and then goes into the net, and then it's just weird stuff. But every single show, it feels like we're saying they're getting bad bounces this way, bad bounces that way. It's like eventually just comes down to these guys aren't putting the pucks in the right places too, I guess is a weird way to put it as well. Like glassing out maybe next time at home. That's a bit harsh, but it's just like this power play. What is happening? Like, how long is Ryan Nugent-Hopkins going to survive on this first unit power play before they realize it's simply not working with him on there anymore? Like, it's just kind of crazy little things like that. I just feel like there needs to be adjustments in certain areas. And power play is 0 for 7 now in his last 2 games, and the Oilers have lost by an empty net goal. 0 for 8. There you go.
As I got to jump in as the resident Ryan Nugent-Hopkins fan club CEO. I would just counter by saying who is working well in the power play right now.
I'm with you, but he has 1 goal in 13 games as well, and he's kind of the weak spot on it. That's why I picked him out.
And therein lies a problem for me. We go with this team and we say, that Sunday decision to remove Woodcroft was going to change things for this team, and that we were going to see a different squad come out. And we now see the 11-7 formation come out, but it's the exact same power play every time. We're rolling out the same unit that was historic last year, but it just feels like the other teams have seen the book and they've checked it out now. They understand how to defeat it. So we've got to change it up. And those guys are the most unique offensive talents in the league. I guarantee you give them a different look, they're going to change it up, and we're going to unlock something new and special there with this group.
I was thinking about that too with the power play and Knobloch. Like, he doesn't need to be attached to anything, and I think he's actually done a pretty good job of putting his stamp on the team in a way. Like, we have seen Bouchard's minutes go down quite a bit at 5-on-5. And then, there's other things like the power play. That's the only one that needs to change for me is the power play. But I think other than that, like, Knobloch has done a fairly good job of changing things. I was very surprised he went 11-7 today, though. That did feel like a big Jay Woodcroft thing.
Yeah, he was forced to kind of play Broberg a little bit as well with Desharnais in the box for the 5-minute penalty. Vinny played 5:06 at 5-on-5. Philip Broberg played 7:10. Liam, I'm with you on the fact that the power plays let him down. Like, not even necessarily the big guns, because McDavid had 2 goals, scored on a penalty shot, which was just disgusting, dude. That was a nasty little come in, stick handle, and flip it over Bobrovsky. Bobrovsky didn't even know where it was after it went in. For me, there was a moment, like we talked about not getting the bounces, but that first goal the Oilers scored, McDavid hammers home that one-timer from an impossible angle. 15 seconds before that, the Panthers hit one off the far side of the post that bounced across the crease. Then Pickard swung his glove back to keep it out. And it reminded me of that game against Dallas in Edmonton, where Ryan Nugent-Hopkins had that chance in front where he wrapped it around and just missed it. And it was like, how the hell did that puck not go in? And then the play went right back the other way, and Dallas scored, made it 1-0, and it changed the game. I thought that was going to be this moment tonight. And what's been the most concerning about these last 2 games is the Oilers are getting off to these great starts. They're getting bounces early, and then they just totally implode on themselves. It's incredibly frustrating.
I found that they would like the penalties they were taking to were at terrible times. Like, I know the first 2 calls on Kane maybe weren't the best by the officials, but also just don't put yourself in that situation. Like, there's no need to take that extra shot on Matthew Tkachuk there. Like, you already got your shot in, skate away. You just scored. You're up 2-0. Now you're giving Florida a massive opportunity to get themselves back in the game, which they did. And then the hucking call is like, maybe weak, I guess you could say, but also just don't do that. That guy is kind of irrelevant to the play a little bit too. Just skate a little bit harder and get in front of him. Evan
Bouchard caught a lot of shrapnel once again on Twitter. People growing more frustrated with him. Connor Brown is taking more and more heat. I even saw Leon Draisaitl. I pointed out that I didn't like the fact he just flew by on that one goal, gave the guy a tap, and then skated past him. Beg Milk, I'll maybe ask you. I know you kind of talked about blowing the 2-goal lead being annoying, but was there any other moment in this game that stood out to you as especially frustrating?
Yeah, I mean, well, the Oilers didn't have bad luck. Well, there's plenty to go around, Tyler. If the Oilers didn't have bad luck, they'd have no luck. I mean, again, we talked about Hyman getting hit with a clearing shot by Ekholm. Could he have gone off the glass and out, like Liam said? Yeah, but what are the chances it hits Hyman and goes right to somebody and they make a play? Again, Calvin Pickard should have stopped that shot. Yeah, but that's a different story. And then you look at the Broberg one where he's skating backwards and he hits a stick that's just laying on the ice. I don't blame Broberg for falling down there. But that's just like a bad luck play. And again, that's just the Oilers season in a nutshell. But you mentioned Bouchard. Like, the interesting thing about Evan Bouchard is I really like this player, but he is driving me nuts in the defensive zone with his lack of urgency on those plays and his lackadaisical back checking. And I feel like the spreadsheet boys are going to get fired up at me here a little bit because I know what the XGF says. I know what the points generated say. And all of that stuff is true, but it's kind of like you live and die by the sword with this guy. And right now in the defensive zone, we're dying a lot more than we're living. So that's frustrating because I know he can be better back there. We've seen him be better back there, but right now it's just a lot of soft plays in the defensive zone. I don't want to just single out Bouchard because I saw the same play by Draisaitl as you did, Tyler, that I wasn't a real big fan of the flyby. And it's just kind of like the guys have no confidence right now. So what sticks out and what's most frustrating to me is they can't even like get an accidental win for themselves where you can start to build back that confidence. It's like no matter what happens, no matter what mistake happens, it's going to end up in the back of the net, whether it's a bad luck play or just a bad play. And it's frustrating to watch because the Oilers can't even get any wins, any emotional wins for themselves so they can try and pull themselves out of this.
Rick, you were laughing. Why?
All that dinging. I think that was your phone going. Weren't you getting a serious bunch of messages on there?
It was me.
It was all the stat sheet boys and girls lighting up Tyler's phone. That's all.
Anyways,
I thought we were getting some insider information here or something like this.
Yeah, I thought we were going to break a trade here.
That would be unbelievable if they hit us with a trade right now. Dan, anything else stand out to you from the frustrating perspective? Like I'm just going to steal Liam's again and say it was the power play. Like not that the Stars were bad, but I think you get one power play goal in the third period on one of your two attempts. That game's going to OT, but Dan, I'll let you go some.
It's for me, it's response. It's, McDavid getting dumped on that play. Yes, I know you're going to get a penalty shot for it, but like, how does nobody go over and grab a hold of that guy that knocks him down? Just little things like Stenlund putting the puck in the net after the play. I like that Fogle comes in and gives him some shit there, but like how is
100%?
The referees have only to thank themselves for all of the shenanigans that happened after that because of their lack of ability to use the rule book that they are given to call plays on.
Mm-hmm.
They just don't do it. So yeah, it's a death by 1,000 cuts, and it feels like this entire season is just going to be defined by that damn quote. But it really feels like some of these games are just like that way.
Also,
I was going to say another BS call was when Sam Bennett was just punching Hyman in the head.
Yeah,
they both
then we get 10. We got 10 for it.
Who did?
Hyman got 10.
Hyman
got
way.
Hyman got it. Oh, I thought it was Hyman.
They said Hyman on the broadcast. I'm looking right now. It's Kane.
You're right.
From the bench?
Must have been. Crazy.
Best officials in the world, though, right, Gary?
Yep. No, they do a great job. Gary will tell you they do.
But like you said, Liam, Bennett was just punching Hyman in the brainstem, and I was wondering when it was going to stop.
And they did the whole rip the helmet off thing too, which last year was pretty much an automatic.
Well, you can do that after the whistle. You can't do it during the play. Which there was a few plays during the game where they did get away with it. But yeah, you can do it after the whistle because that makes sense.
Yeah. Also frustrating from a reffing perspective. Derek Ryan got whacked in the face, no call. Evan Bouchard got whacked
behind
in
the net.
face. Mm-hmm. Yeah, right behind the net, no call. And it's like that is an automatic penalty all the time. And for some reason, the refs are just like, high sticks, we're gonna let those go. But again, I have a hard time being like, the game would have been different if they would have gotten those calls.
Our power play can't do shit.
Yeah, the power play can't do shit. So that's another one that was frustrating, was just those two officiating moments. But then also being an Oilers fan in years past has been, oh man, if we would have gotten those two power plays, like we might have scored one or two of them and like we would have won the game. Now we're like, probably wouldn't have done much. Rick, I'll let you finish up the frustrating roundtable.
I don't know what to say, man. It's there's just so many small little cuts here, and I don't know exactly how you try and fill all of them at once. It's like not like a goal off the ass gets them going, because we've seen a couple of those, and we've seen a couple two goal games by Connor now and Leon, and that really didn't get them going into the next games. I don't know what to say right now. It's every little aspect is we're leaking it everywhere, and it's bringing the ship down.
Go ahead, Liam.
I don't know. It's just
Liam's
so weird. Like
Liam's got a point after every one of us with something else.
You go back and look at the goals, and there's like clear points on every goal, like what went wrong. But I feel like when you watch like other teams, like the Oilers have to work so hard sometimes to score goals. Like Connor McDavid had to score from the goal line today to give the Oilers a 1-goal lead. Their second goal was a well-worked play by the Oilers, and the third one was a penalty shot. You walk through what Florida did, and every single one is almost a mistake by the Edmonton Oilers, one way or another. And it is just amazing that it's every single night. It's the exact same thing, unless they put together almost a perfect game or their goalie bails them out. And I guess to flip it, like Pickard was actually pretty good tonight. I can't believe Mikula scored 2 goals, considering he has 7 in his career. But special night.
Don't worry, Kevin Stenlund was also given a third star of the game in that hockey game. A nice 3-point performance from Kevin Stenlund, who came into the game with 4 points on the year. So that's a big night for him. Like, what are we doing? Anyways, let's wrap up. You talked about Calvin Pickard, made his Oilers debut today. He stopped 26 of 30, gave him an .867 save percentage. I will go ahead and say he was solid, made some big stops, but needed one more, and that has been the story of the Oilers goaltending this year. Let's do letter grades for Calvin Pickard. Bag Milk, what letter grade would you give him for his performance?
I mean, like, it's hard to, like, I think that Calvin Pickard played well, actually. He made some huge saves, but, like, if you look at a guy who had 26 saves and an .867, you don't exactly go, huzzah, we did it, like, mission accomplished, hang the banner. Like, there's problems there, right? Like, I think of the goal that hit Hyman, that one needed to be a stop. But then at the same point, he also made some huge saves where he was going post to post and making big saves. So letter grade, a B. Is that high? A B minus? I don't know. It's hard to say because like I don't feel like all of the goals against were his fault, but I do think that one or two of them he definitely liked back. But I also think that at the same time, like there was that one goal when a bunch of forwards or a bunch of Oiler players were just standing around in their defensive zone and he's sliding all over the crease trying to make magic happen. What is the guy supposed to do? How many shots is he supposed to stop? So B minus?
I think you're bang on with the B minus. That's what I was going to go with. He wasn't terrible. And it wasn't like I watched that game and went, okay, you can't start him again. You got to go trade for someone tomorrow. But he needed to make one more save to get an A grade from me. Rick, what do you say?
Yeah, no, I agree. I was thinking B minus, C plus, somewhere in there. None of them were his fault, but I think all of them are probably stoppable. Yeah, it's another one of those things. So yeah, let's go with be a little different. We'll go C plus.
Dan?
Well, I think if you lose, you can't get higher than a C on my letter grade. But then I'm going to say that it gets skewed up because the Florida Panthers is a team that to me just comes in waves on offense. And you saw it a few times tonight where broken down play and they still get a shot off and it's still a chance against the team. And so, yeah, for me, Pickard, solid enough that this team could have won that hockey game. So I'll give him a B plus.
Liam, wrap it up.
I was kind of thinking a B plus too, and just putting there the fact of like he hasn't played in the NHL in how many years? He's not played in 16 days. 2021. There you go. And it's like, you know what? For a guy to come in and give the Oilers an opportunity to win game, and the fact they didn't was because of their own defensive lapses and the fact the power play didn't show up despite multiple opportunities. I think you got to be generous to Pickard. so I'll give him a B plus. I have a question though. Sorry to keep slowing down everything, but as someone who didn't play hockey ever, was that play that Bouchard made, which led to the Matthias Ekholm goal, really dumb, or am I going crazy? Like, that was a hand pass, and for some reason he like touched it softly, and it led to a penalty. Was that silly, or am I going nuts?
No, Jamal Meyer said it on the broadcast. He said, like, listen, man, make a play there. Be hard on the puck. Like, what is going on? Just because you think it is a hand pass, there's a reason people say play to the whistle. And he was just assuming the whistle was going to come. And then when he did finally engage, it was very, very sloppy and weak. Like, that's what I mean about Evan Bouchard. I love the kid. I really do. But in the defensive zone, like on the defensive side of the puck, his urgency level is just not near where it should be.
He just wasn't confident going to the puck.
You put it well though, Bag Milk. Play to the whistle, and it's like a football adage, right? And man, oh man, did that feel like, you got that ball that it's not your possession until the other team touches it, and you just don't have to. But almost like he got goaded into touching that damn puck, and yeah, he wants that back, but you can't have those kinds of brain farts at the NHL level.
Just a lack of confidence. He knew it was a hand pass. But you kind of get that close to the puck and you just have a lack of confidence. You don't know what to do with it.
So skate away from it. Leave it. He doesn't have to play the puck.
Go to the other side. He literally didn't have to play the puck, but it was just weird. That's just what he is right now.
It was an incredibly confusing moment. I don't know what he was thinking there. All right, there you go. That is your game recap brought to you by Alberta Blue Cross. There's only one thing better than sharing memories, and that is making new ones. ab.bluecross.ca/travel. Again, different edition of the pod just because we are coming at you at nighttime on a Monday instead of Tuesday afternoon. So enjoy the early listening on a Tuesday morning, I would assume, on your way to work. We are going to get to our delicious debate in a second. But first, I think this is a good time to do Who Delivered by DoorDash. Liam?
Ding dong.
For a limited time, our Canadian listeners can get 25% off and 0 delivery fees on their first order of $15 or more. All you need to do is download the DoorDash app and enter the code NATION25. That's all capitals, NATION25. That's 25% off up to a $10 value and 0 delivery fees on your first order when you download the DoorDash app in the App Store and enter the code NATION25. You can make DoorDash your holiday hack this holiday season with restaurants, groceries, pharmacies, bakeries, flower shops, and more delivered right to your door with DoorDash. And Liam, you heard my hilarious hiccup today on the DFO rundown when I tried to do that ad read. When my day started 13 and a half hours ago, I got jumbled between saying viewers and listeners. And I just go, for a limited time, our Canadian losers. And then it was the hard side. We had to just redo the whole thing. It was terrible.
It was very funny. I actually thought he meant hiccup. So I was waiting for the hiccup. And then I heard that. It was much better. Much better.
All right. Who hasn't gone first yet for a question? I'll go with you, Dan. Who delivered? And keep in mind, we haven't done an episode since Friday, so we got Saturday against the Bolts and then tonight against the Panthers.
Oh, man. Well, I'm just going to grab the guy right off the top of the board. Calvin Pickard delivered in his first action in almost 2 years in the NHL, gave us a chance to win the hockey game. So, Calvin Pickard, you delivered.
Rick?
I'm going to veer away from the team and say something that went down last night. I think the CFL delivered. I don't know if anyone watched the Grey Cup game last night, but I thought it was a great show, great performance at halftime, and the game itself was down to the last second, man. It was pretty fun to watch.
I actually said this on Real Life today. I had no plan of watching the entire Grey Cup. I put it on thinking I was going to have a nap. It was electric. I had a great time watching the Grey Cup. It was awesome.
I had no idea it was on. But also, did you guys see the Montreal Alouettes player yell at the camera in French? He was fired up.
He was right in everything he said.
He probably was.
Did we have a rough translation?
Yeah, well, there was some people that were upset ahead of the Grey Cup, and then he was just voicing their concerns about afterwards about how the Grey Cup was marketed entirely in English. And of course, we have two language speaking teams in this league, and then on top of it, even I think on some TV broadcasts, it said that it was Toronto versus Winnipeg.
Oh.
So
Nice
they were
one.
like, who won the Grey Cup? And of course, the team that won the Grey Cup wasn't listed on the TV listings.
Liam, who delivered for DoorDash?
I'll go back to Saturday, and I think a good one to pick here is James Hamlin. Obviously, a pretty. I don't know what the good word. It gives me goosebumps to even talk about it. Just reaction to scoring that goal and dedicating it to his mom. Pretty special, I think, to see. And unfortunately, the Oilers couldn't come out for the win, but it was cool to see him get his first goal and then do what he did in his celebration. So James Hamlin delivered like he has done pretty much every time he's put on that Oilers jersey this season.
Yeah, he's been working hard, and watching him get that goal and then the emotional celebration, that was just all around an unbelievable moment. That'll go down as one of the top moments of the year, no matter what else happens this season.
Good sports right there. Great sport.
Yeah.
Totally. BM, you're next. What do you got?
I'm gonna go with the captain. I think that this team, if they're going to climb out of this hole, if they're going to crawl out of it, Connor McDavid has got to be a huge part of it. And now with the 2 goals tonight, he's got 4 in his last 4 games. He's starting to look more like Connor McDavid. The goal from Leon's office along the goal line was an absolute snipe from an impossible angle. And I'm hoping that he's going to start to feel his mojo a little bit. So I think with 2 goals tonight, like you said off a little bit earlier, Tyler, the penalty shot goal was an absolute killer. When he went in that slow, I was like, oh, Connor, I think you're going in too slow. And then it goes in. I go, you know what? I'll just shut my mouth and I'll just keep quiet from here on. Then I'll just sit back into my couch and watch you do your thing. So Connor McDavid, you delivered. Thank you. I missed you. Glad to have you back.
You guys left an easy one on the board for me. This is good. We had a lot to choose from. How about Derek Ryan popping home a couple of goals against the Tampa Bay Lightning, picks up an assist in the win over Florida, a little 3-point run over 2 games for DR10. The Oilers needed someone in the bottom 6 to start providing a spark. And now you look over the last couple of games, Hamlin, obviously, like you said, Liam got a goal. And then you got Derek Ryan chipping in with a little bit of offense. I think that it would be nice if that continued. It would also be nice if more than one area of this team was clicking at a time.
Great assist from Derek Ryan tonight, too, on the Evander Kane goal.
Yeah, nice touch.
Mm-hmm. And Ryan McLeod.
Yeah, I am hard on Ryan McLeod, so I will give him some love for that one there. So giddy up. There you go. That's who delivered for DoorDash. Dash that for the win. I'm surprised we got 5 out of that.
It is grim here, boys.
Yeah, things are looking grim. Finally, we are almost at the 30-minute mark. So what we're going to do here is step aside for a quick ad, and then when we come back, it's time for the delicious debate. The Delicious Debate is brought to you by Wendy's. Don't forget, you can head over to dailyfaceoff.com and play that Wendy's Survivor game. Dailyfaceoff.com. Click the little link at the top. You can try to survive the run of 4 days. There is still one going right now. I've been eliminated on day 1, the last couple of attempts at it, but you can also download the Wendy's app and score yourself 150 bonus reward points on your first order. Grab a sweet victory from the mouth-watering jaws of defeat, along with some fresh, never frozen Canadian beef. Shout out to Wendy's and their new app. All right, boys, the Delicious Debate today. We saw on Saturday night on the Hockey Night in Canada broadcast, Elliotte Friedman talking about the Oilers' reported interest in a goalie from Montreal. To give everyone some context, the Canadiens are currently sitting with a 3-headed monster on their NHL roster because they don't want to lose Caden Primo to waivers. So Jake Allen is 33 years old. He has a modified no-trade clause, which is a 7-team no-trade list according to Cap Friendly. He has a cap hit of $3.85 million this year and next year. Samuel Montembeault, he is a UFA at the end of this upcoming season with a cap hit of $1 million. He's 27 years old and played in 111 career NHL games. Caden Primo is the youngest of the bunch at 24, $890K against the cap for this year and one more. He's only ever played in 26 NHL games. The Delicious Debate today: should the Oilers be interested in any of the 3 goalies from Montreal? Liam?
Yes, they should be interested in Allen and Montembeault, and I think I would go Montembeault over Allen. For one, Montembeault is only $1 million until the end of the season, and it's actually a really good year when you look at his underlying numbers too. I think both goalies actually lie around a 907, 908, something in there, one or the other. And when you look at Montembeault's number at 5-on-5, he has a 949 save percentage at 5-on-5 this season. and his high danger chances, his save percentage is right around 900 as well. So he's really good. And for that cap hit, I know it's only until the end of the season, but if he's good and then the Oilers are able to maybe re-sign him, it's not going to be a huge ticket either. And maybe you can have Montembeault Skinner running around for a while here under like $6 million, which would be pretty sweet.
Bag milk, what do you think?
I honestly don't know. Like, yeah, Samuel Montembeault sounds fine, but like, you know, you're gonna have to give up a bunch. Gonna have to give up assets to get literally anybody. What does that look like? Nobody's here to help the Oilers here. And I know the Habs are running with 3 goalies right now, and it's weird, but they seem like they're gonna just be carrying that. It's not like the Oilers are gonna be like, oh well, Montreal, you've got 3 guys. You don't want to lose Primo on waiver, so why don't you do us a solid? They're going to say, no, fuck you. They're going to throw you an anchor, and if you want Montembeault, you're going to have to pay a ton for it. So, yeah, I would be interested in him based on his stats. I know that his 5-on-5 numbers right this season have been very, very good, and I know that his contract is palatable, especially given our cap situation. But what is that going to take to acquire? What would be the, like, how much more would you have to spend to get a Mackenzie Blackwood out of San Jose? He's been fantastic. So would they be interested in a Montreal goalie? Sure. But what else you got? Because I feel like I don't know that Jake Allen coming in is going to be the answer. He's never been the answer anywhere he's played. So why would we think that he is here? I don't know. Maybe I'm just too pessimistic right now, and I'm a little bit salty that the Oilers lost again tonight. But I just don't know that either of those 2 guys is going to be the answer here. I just don't.
Yeah, like the reason I like Montembeault is because end of the season he's a UFA, and Montreal, I believe, still has one more retained money cap or one more retained money spot. So if you could convince him to keep half of Sam Montembeault, he's a $500,000 cap hit. You would actually save money against the cap. It makes sense. I'm with you. Jake Allen doesn't do it for me at 33 years old. The modified no trade clause could be a sticking point, and he makes $3.85 million. The only way to do that is if Campbell goes the other way. Dan, what say you? Dan? He had the one finger
I don't know.
up.
Do we feel like, sorry. Yeah. No, my camera's glitchy. Sorry, boys. I'm trying to clip a fight here.
All right. We're gonna mute Dan for a second, and then we're gonna get Rick's opinion on it while Dan's internet catches up to where we are on the show.
He's Dan doing hockey fights things while he's also trying to podcast here, so it's just not going well. That Commodore 64 over there at the Shea Dan house.
Okay, Rick,
awesome.
Interested in any of those goalies?
I'm kind of with you guys here. I don't think Allen's really going to cut it. I would have said the same thing about Montembeault. You know, his numbers sound pretty good. But I just think that we need to take our next. I guess you can only move 3 of them, right? You can only move 3 years worth of picks. I'd take all 3 of my picks, package them up with Campbell, and go. Maybe you can get away with just doing 2 first rounds in Campbell and finding yourself a legit starter. I don't know, but you need to do something, and it has to be done now.
Frank drops a very interesting name on our show today.
What was it?
Whom?
Karel Vejmelka. Thoughts?
Veggie, you know I'm a veggie guy.
That's not a real person.
Like that's the guy in Arizona, right?
Yeah.
yes, it is.
That's the Coyotes goaltender.
Kenny.
So I guess, and that's
He needs to carry the fucking mail.
That was going to be my comment, even with the Montreal thing. Sorry, I'm trying to clip a fight while we're doing this podcast live, and my computer could not handle 2 things at once. But yeah, my real question is Montembeault, if you just take Pickard out from tonight and put Montembeault in there, do we win that hockey game? I don't think so. If we do that over the season, do we think that we're a better than 500 team? I don't think so. Everybody else has their own opinion about that. But to me, if you're going out and getting a goaltender, you better shake the damn foundations of the league and rattle the cages, just like you did with Ekholm, you know, where it came out of left field. But it can't be one of these like trimming and nibbling around the edges kind of names where you're just hoping that maybe that guy saves your season.
I think I do agree. And like, especially again, you watch Pickard today and like, he's competent. Like, he's not that bad. I thought he was totally fine. I gave him a B- tonight. So I'm not sure if you need to do something. Yeah, I'm not sure if you need to do something fast. I think you can maybe wait until the right deal comes across for you. I would love Vejmelka. I would part ways with multiple first round picks and probably something else if they were to take Jack Campbell and give the Oilers Karel Vejmelka. But I don't know how realistic that really is. I love the Mackenzie Blackwood idea, BM, but yeah, I mean, do any of the guys in Montreal interest me? If the price on Montembeault is low enough, like we're talking maybe a third round pick, and they're willing to keep half his salary, maybe a third and a fifth because they keep half his salary or something along those lines, then sign me up for it. But I'm not giving up a second or a Bourgault or anything of substance for any of those goalies in Montreal, because none of them are difference makers. I think you can just roll the dice on Pickard giving you 6 decent starts in the next 2 months.
Would you give up?
I just learned how to spell Karel Vejmelka, and I was nowhere close.
Yeah.
Veggie milk, I believe it is actually written.
Nope.
Yeah,
Would you give up like what if Montreal was like, we want a third and we want a second and I don't know, some random prospect like Tyler Tullio.
For who?
For Montembeault.
Oh no, I'm not even giving up just a second for Montembeault. Like it's a third rounder and something small. Goalies don't go for that much.
Interesting.
Until you sign him in free agency.
Well, yeah. No, that's.
I think one other
question, since we're talking about goaltenders, do you see any situation in which Jack Campbell is back here this season?
No, he's so bad. He can't even stop an AHL puck, and they're the same size, right, Tyler?
Yeah. Boy, no, I don't see a way for him to come back to this team this year.
He'll be back. They'll probably
absolutely see a way.
Yeah, he's gonna. He'll come have Christmas with the family, then head back.
Oh Jesus, Rick!
He can't be away.
Dark.
I think one thing that's a positive of the acquisition of Montembeault is the fact that he's not gonna. I don't think he's gonna cost you a first round pick. I think that would be insane for him to cost you a first round pick, which then gives you more bullets in the chamber to address more issues that are clear in this team. So you can get Montembeault and you can have 2 good goalies in Skinner and Montembeault, and then you can go and get your third line center to replace your winger Ryan McLeod that's been playing there all season, or you can get another defenseman to help someone. I don't know where it may be, but it doesn't damage your chances of making more moves. I think that's a positive on it for me.
So looking at the picks that they've got this year in 2024, they've got their first, they've got their second, they've got a fifth, and then they've got 2 sixths, one from Nashville, no seventh. Next year, they've got a first, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. Year after, they've got all of them. So I'm kind of with Rick at the point, like, let's unload the clip here a little bit. I'm not saying all in a goalie. That's not what I'm saying. But like, let's clear out some cap space here. Let's bring in some fresh bodies and try and find somebody who can actually stop the puck. That's not a shot at Calvin Pickard. And I actually think Stuart Skinner is going to be fine. But we've already got the coach fired. Jay Woodcroft got to hang out, eat nachos, and make $3 million tonight. He's having a great time. Now that Chris Knobloch's here, that card is gone. That card's off the table, and we are running out of time. There's still a lot of time, but there's not a lot of time given the holder in. So they need to do something here.
Anyone know where Mike Smith's at?
Just pay Smitty to come back and yell at the boys on the bench. Clearly, they need something.
Or Victor Fast.
Victor Fast also yelling on the bench. I like that.
How's Miko doing?
Probably better than us.
I was looking at Miko today. He made $16.5 million USD, and he's living in Switzerland. He is doing A-okay.
I think he probably owes us maybe 3 months of hockey then, perhaps.
Maybe.
He wouldn't even answer his phone.
Ken Holland his block number.
Blocked.
He's only 35.
Who?
Lico. He's trying to pull up his numbers.
So far from the good times. This is depressing.
He's playing for HC Lugano, and in 12 games this season. You know what? Maybe we should talk about something else. This is not pretty.
What's he got? I'm curious. I want to know.
12 games. He has an 884.
He's been eating too many cheesy gordita crunches. My boy's not ready to go.
296 goals against, so not bad.
You know what?
This one's beautiful.
Yeah, but what's the league average, Liam?
But he doesn't
Maybe
allow
it's just a high offensive league. You don't know.
He's allowing less than 3 goals a game. And he has an 884.
I see no problem with that stat line. There you go. You know what? We could all probably at some point over the next little bit use a distraction from this hockey team, and no better place to do it than down at Greta, right in downtown Edmonton. You know what, Bag Milk? If you need to stop thinking about the Oilers for a little bit, you go to Greta, you get a couple of drinks in you, you play Mario Kart, and boom, all of a sudden the Oilers struggles are out of your brain.
That's right.
That is right. Shout out to Greta. Check them out this weekend. You might need to party a little bit to get some of these nasty Oilers thoughts out of your head. Let's continue along on the show and take a look at the week ahead for Cornerstone Insurance. You can find out more about all the services they offer at cornerstoneins.ca. There's a little button there if you're a friend of the nation. I use them to insure the nation truck. You can trust them for all your insurance needs. Liam, I'm going to set you up for this one. How about the fact there are no NHL games tomorrow night?
There's none tomorrow? I thought there was none on Thursday. So wait. There is no NHL games tomorrow, being Tuesday, which is not American Thanksgiving. Then there's also, how many games are on Wednesday?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
14.
11, 12, 13, 14.
What?
That makes sense.
Why?
And then there's no games on Thursday, 15 games on Friday, 8 games on Saturday, 5 games on Sunday.
What? Like, why? Why is this necessary at all? The Oilers road trip could be like 6 days shorter if they were just able to play back-to-backs instead of having to play on Wednesday and then play Friday. This schedule is an absolute disaster, and the NHL will never ever get out of its own way. And today they announced an what's that hockey tournament with 4 teams in it?
4 teams, yeah. It's the World Cup. Most of the world is not involved in it.
Oh my good God. Like, get out your own way, Gary. You're like, stupid.
They ignored all the fun things from the last one, like the under 23 Team Europe. They got rid of all that. Like the best parts of the last one. They're just like, nah, whatever.
So who are the teams? US, Finland, Sweden, and Canada. Whoops.
Yeah.
So we're not going to get Leon Draisaitl. We won't get Kopitar, I guess. Obviously, all the Russians won't be there.
All the
Czechs, Switzerland.
No David Pasternak, right?
No
Timo Meier.
Don't need them. Don't need them.
They don't sell tickets. David Pasternak.
It's best on best, not those guys. It's best on best we're looking for.
Yeah.
David Pasternak pulled off an absolutely beautiful play tonight in the Bruins game, and yet
don't need it.
Not worthy of a World Cup appearance.
I've never listened to that anthem before, and I never have to.
How can they do that? How can the World Juniors go every single year with a team like Kazakhstan, Austria, Denmark? I think Great Britain might be sneaking into the picture eventually. Poland, but the NHL can't put together a team from Switzerland.
Yeah, the NHL would be doing a best on best tournament with 3 of their current top 10 scorers not even eligible to play in it.
Don't need them.
Don't need them.
We're putting on a best on best here, Tyler. Come on.
Yeah, we want best on best. The NHL, you can have half the best against half the best. That's our final offer.
The top 2 negotiating this 2 years ago were from Slovakia. It's Slavkovsky and Nemec.
Yeah. It's like that meme from Paunch Stars or whatever that show is called, where it's like, we want the best on best tournament from everybody in the world, and they go, best we can do is a 4-team shit show.
Is it going to be in Toronto?
No, they want to play games internationally still.
Yeah, oddly, it's going to be in Munich, Germany.
It'll be in Prague.
Yeah.
Munich,
Australia,
and Switzerland.
Davos, buddy. Davos.
Australia inside of a tennis arena that the ice won't freeze in.
All right. The week ahead for the Edmonton Oilers, between now and the next time we record a podcast, they will play 2 games. Wednesday against the Hurricanes, 5:00 start. Friday against the Capitals. I'm just going to go out and say it. If you don't win at least one of those, the season's probably over.
Must win, Tyler Yaremchuk. And I quote,
one of the two. Like, you don't need to sweep these. You need to beat one of these next two teams, or else we're done.
You should probably sweep these.
You have to win both.
Season's not over if you don't win both, though.
No, but you have to win it for my own mental sake.
Need two of the next three for sure.
You need to go on a run. Like this 2 of 3 thing, like you got to win 5, 6, 7 in a row, and then you lose one, and then you do another run like that. Otherwise, like the hole is getting deep. But then at the same point, the boys, Rick said it earlier, they're battling confidence in a way I've never seen before. So like they need something good to happen. They need anything good to happen. I was looking at exorcisms on Fiverr today. I found a guy who long distance one for $281. I'm starting to think that we just pass a hat around and try and figure this out.
I was Googling exorcisms in the third period. I'm not even joking.
Somebody that's going to leave it up to us, I guess.
The Oilers also have the Anaheim Ducks coming up on Sunday, and they're starting to slide a little bit. They'll be back on home ice for that one. It's a 7:00 start against Anaheim. So you need 2 of these next 3, because after that, it's a bit of a gauntlet the week after. Vegas, Winnipeg, Carolina again. It's going to get tough.
But like, I don't even care about who they're playing, because in these last 2 games, Tampa Bay and Florida were winnable games for the Edmonton Oilers. Yeah. They shot themselves in the foot. So it doesn't really matter who it is. They got to get out of their own way.
The biggest rival to the Oilers right now is themselves.
Amen. Put it on a card.
That should be the title of today's podcast.
I mean, Leon said it yesterday too. Like, no disrespect to their team, but we're our biggest enemy right now, and it has been that way all year.
I feel that. All right, gentlemen. This was fun. This was a nice little venting session. We all had a cold one. I know. I'm just trying to find positives here. At least we got to be together for the last 47 minutes of our lives.
That is nice.
Does that mean word association?
No, we scratched that. We put that in the game recap instead. I did not have the energy to give word association.
I'll give you guys 2 real quick. Ready?
Very strenuous game.
Real quick. Tyler, you're up first. Calvin Pickard.
Solid.
Liam.
Good.
Rick.
Decent.
Dan.
Pleasantly surprised.
I'd say passable. The Oilers power play issues. Dan.
Change it up.
Rick.
Unexplainable.
Liam.
New faces.
Tyler.
Stumped.
And I would say dumbfounded. The likelihood that the Oilers will soon trade for a goalie by the end of November. Tyler.
Slim.
Liam.
Above slim.
Rick.
Likely.
Dan.
My heart says 0% chance, but I believe that there is more than a 50-50 shot that it happened.
Yeah, I was going to say doubtful. Anyway, little impromptu word association for you. There's 3.
Can I give one?
There you go.
Sure.
Evan Bouchard.
Tyler's so annoyed.
Hey, who's going first, Liam? You got to direct
Tyler. I thought we had an order. Tyler.
Okay, sorry. Annoying.
Rick.
Defensively lost.
Dan.
1 of 1,000.
BM.
I'd say he's a coin. And the reason I say that is offensively, you go, man, on this side of the coin, there's a lot of good stuff to like about Evan Bouchard. And on the defensive side of the coin, you go, well, it's not so great. Not so great. What's your word, Liam?
Pickling.
Pickling?
What? Pickling.
Like a good egg.
Yeah. He'll headline a segment on the show one day when we get it passed.
All right.
Pickling?
Pickling.
I may go grab some pickled eggs tomorrow now that I think of it.
Shout out to Will Hawk. Shout out to Will Hawk Beef Jerky. All right, gentlemen. Thanks for staying up and doing this on a Monday night. That is a wrap on a little special edition of Oilers Nation Every Day. To the listeners, enjoy your Tuesday. We'll chat
Oilers
again
Nation
on Friday.
No, bad, Tyler. It's Oilers Nation Radio.
Oh, yeah. Oilers Nation Radio. Sorry, guys. That's what we're wrapping up. Thursday or Friday. We're doing a podcast at some point. End it. Stop recording me.
Okay, goodbye, everybody.